and welcome to 360 Issues for today on 7FM 103.9 on Nicham. And of course, you already know that when you hear that sound on your radio, that the entire crew are in the building to get to deliberate and of course dissect and make sure we come to a solution to some of the issues that we are going to be discussing for today. My name is Raymond Okolo.
I must say this week will be a great one for everyone listening to us right now. And we've brought a little bit of issue that is happening to the civil servants this morning, and we hope we get to talk about this and get to talk about the solution concerning these issues that we've brought to the table this morning.
A whole lot happened during the weekend. There's a whole lot for us to actually talk about, and then try to see how we can as people make things a bit better or make things a bit easier for us all living in the country. And for today, we are going to be taking a look at something that has to do, just like the doctor said, with the workers, because as it stands right about now, federal government begins a 40% pay rise for workers and excludes doctors and lecturers. We understand that the lecturers have been having issues with federal government for a long time, doctors as well too recently, because of the fact that they told them that you're going to start having to work here in the country for at least 5 years before you're allowed to travel out, and then before you're giving your license and a whole lot of things. So we know that there's been some issues going on with the doctors and of course with the lecturers as well too. But we're not looking at it from that aspect, and maybe that is the reason why. We want to find out the reason why they have been excluded from this 40% pay rise for workers, and then for those who are going to be benefiting from this as well too, what would they have to do and all of these things. So this is what we are going to be discussing today, the fact that the federal government has actually decided to begin at a 40% pay rise for workers. But before that, we're going to give Dorcas the chance to get to break it down for us, get to read out everything concerning this story so that we understand what exactly are the plans of the federal government, and then we'll know how to come in as well.
The federal government this time around, there are lecturers that have come out to go against the plan of the federal government concerning this increment. We have doctors that have come out to going against this, that they are not happy in what the federal government are doing right now. But let's get to see what the federal government sees concerning this. Federal government begins 40% pay rise for workers, excludes doctors and lecturers. Only the 144,766 federal civil servants under this consolidated public service salary structure will benefit from the new 40% peculiar allowance introduced by the federal government. This implies that other workers under the employment of the federal government but operating under different salary structures will not benefit. For instance, university workers who are under the consolidated university academic salary structure and medical doctors who work for the federal government will also not benefit from the pay rise, as they are under the consolidated medical salary scale. Other categories of federal workers who will not benefit from the peculiar allowance are nurses, non-academic workers in tertiary institutions, the police, and members of the armed forces, among others. In a memo obtained on Saturday, the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, headed by EPO Inter, noted that only 144,766 staff members of the Federal Civil Service under the CONPSS salary structure would be paid. So EPO said in a memo addressed to Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed, which was cited on Saturday. He said he referred to his letter number SWC/S/04/S651/11/271 dated 24th of February 2023, and the conclusion of the 11th meeting of the Presidential Committee on Salary held on 7th of March 2023 on the above mentioned subject, and convey approval for the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning to implement the peculiar allowance attached herewith for staff on the consolidated public service salary structure. So the effect took effect from January 1st, actually 2023, of what they said. But in the breakdown attached to the memo, the Commission stated that a total of 144,766 staff members would benefit from the payment. So talking about the increment of salary that we have been talking about since January now, it is not all civil servants that will benefit from this. So Ngige described the pay rate as a peculiar allowance for civil servants in view of the current economic reality, and it was meant to help government workers to cushion the effect of rising inflation, rising cost of living, and hikes in transportation fare, housing, and electricity tariffs. So that is what is coming out from Ngige right there. But the ASU now, however, protested the exclusion of its member from the payment of peculiar allowance. So the national president of the union, Professor Emmanuel Osodike, accused the government of trying to create problems in the system. So this is coming from the ASU. Others that ASU would study the situation on the ground and make it stand known soon. So that is that about it. Even the doctors now have actually come out to go against it, saying their members are not happy concerning the exclusion of doctors and some other sectors in the increment of the salary. So this one coming out now, I begin to think that federal government, if there should be increase in anything, it should be generally, actually, because normally everybody have the amount they are being paid. But I thought of it for NYSC now, for people that teach in school, state government pay them. But for everyone that works under private organizations or any other sectors, those are the people that will pay them. They don't have access to state government payment. So in that view, both you teach in primary school, secondary school, everything, in as much as you are working for the state government, they get you paid. Not to the federal government level. Everybody works for the federal government. So if there should be increment, it should be for everybody, not for some set of people now. Because them coming out that these are the set of people that will benefit from this salary increment, it shows that are these people not working for federal government too, or are they not going to be affected? Because all this thing is coming in view of the fuel subsidy removal in the first place, that if it is being removed, people will get to suffer a lot. This is coming in view of it. So if it's coming in view of this part of fuel subsidy removal, now the increment now is not now for every civil servant. So how do we judge this? How do we talk about it? If federal government should approve something like this for just only how many people? 144,766 people in the country. So imagine that. This is unfair to these people on my own part. We understand the fact that people do not collect the same salary. Sure, some people have a higher salary rate, but still yet, they are still complaining that this thing is not enough for them. So the increment now, why should it be for some people and not for everybody? It should not be that on my own part. It should be for everybody in the first place, because everybody will be affected in this situation if the fuel subsidy is removed in Nigeria. So how does the federal government, how will they go about settling other civil servants in which will be affected too? Because everybody are still in this country together.
Now, for them to be able to do that, according to them, what they are telling us right now is that now for them to fund this pay rise that they are doing right now, it will cost them 79.37 billion annually, that is yearly, for them to be able to pay this pay rise to these workers. Now, I think for a government that is supposed to be for the people, and of course of the people as well too, I believe that they should take responsibility of making sure that the people are well taken care of. Now, you have the civil servants who are working for the government. They are working for you every single day. They get to the office 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 as the case may be, and then you decide to increase the salary for some people, and then it does not go around. In our own local environment, if you now as a person now you have lights in your house or you don't have lights in your house and then your neighbor has lights, see the pain pass. You better make everybody not get lights than say you just do your house in darkness and the next person now like see me you cut in wire. But that's the way it is right about now, because it seems as if they have increased for some people, like you mentioned, 140 something thousand people are going to have their own salary increase 40%, and then while the rest will just be watching. Not just the doctors, not just the police, not just any other person as well. Every single person will just be there watching, knowing fully well that this other group of people are collecting this amount of money, and we are all working together. We are all putting in the work. We are all doing the same amount of job. So why should they be earning more than us? Why should they be getting 40% increase while we are here struggling as well? So I think these are some of the things that we need to take into consideration if we are to actually address this issue right about now.
Nigeria is such a beautiful place that anything goes, anything can happen. And no one will ask you a question, what doest thou? My question is directly to Chris Ngige. You are in charge of the labor in Nigeria. What are you saying about this particular situation? Whenever you are in charge of a particular union, it is expected that everything you say should be in favor of that union. But you coming out and conforming to what the federal government is saying, the federal government will always say something that is favorable to them. It is now your duty to stand for your union. It is now your duty to say things that favors your people, so that they will see it from different point of view. The federal government cannot tell us that since that they run an all-inclusive government, because that is what they will always come out to tell us during campaign, that my government is going to be an all-inclusive government. Now we have seen a barricade between people that went for this structure and people that went for another structure, and we all know that this salary structure has been the reason why ASU has been on strike. It's been going on strike for, I think, since 2009 till now, and the strike the agreement they had with the federal government during when they called off the last strike, up till now nothing has been done about it, and they are still agitating for another strike. And this one now is coming to add up to the other ones that they have gone before. So now they are no longer agitating for one thing. There are more issues coming up for them to agitate for. When are we going to live in a Nigeria where majority is being taken care of, and then the minority, we have minority of people coming out to say that they are not satisfied. Now we have majority of people coming out to say that they are satisfied, than the minority of people that are satisfied with the government. It's as if it's more than 2/3 of the Nigerian population, because everyone is saying it's true that you cannot please everybody in a government, but this one is excessive. And the people that you're excluding are people that covers a very, very important part of the society. Look at nurses, look at doctors. The same doctors and nurses that you are saying that they should stay back in the country for 5 years before they start practicing, and the ones that are practicing that are even planning to japa, you are now telling them that they are not part of the increment. Why won't they japa? Because you are not seeing their essence in the country, so that they have every reason to japa. And okay, it's true that you can actually go to another country to seek for medical attention, but the ones that we have here, why not we take care of them? And then we are talking about insecurity in the country, and then the army and the police are also excluded from this increment. How then can we be secured if the people that are taking care of us are not taken care of? You handed over your life to some set of people. Why not make sure that they are comfortable, so that when they are taking care of you, they will come out with full force? And then not just that, the lecturers, we have our students going to school. The students can now channel their the lecturers can now channel their grievances to the students. I remember when I was in school, lecturers will come and tell you that you should write this particular test. That whether you hear the question. What happened one particular day was that I think we are so many in class, or over 200 in a class, and the class was so small, and the lecturer came in and was like, tear out a sheet of paper, you're going to write a test. In a very small class, 200 and something students, and they just came back from strike. He just asked the question. Some people are at the back, they've not even heard what he's saying. Sir, what are you saying? What are you saying? The next thing, submit your sheet of paper. You never write question, you never do anything. They are just channeling their grievances to the students. And when you come to begs at CO, they will tell you that you have to show yourself to the priest, that you have to appease the gods. Of course, you know what they meant by you have to appease the gods, because they are not being paid well. So if you want most of these things to be handled properly, let the labor aspect of this country, let them be taken care of. And it's not just them. The removal of fuel subsidy is going to affect a whole lot of people, not just people working for the federal government. So they should also look into it too.
Right.
Government attend to some set of people quick than the others. If not, ASU cannot be fighting for something for a very long time now, and you are not answering them. And some set of people come out because they said because of this fuel subsidy removal, even though it is reasonable enough, and you accept it. This is how much are they approving? 79.37 billion naira annually now, every year. So imagine that. So it's looking as if the federal government is attended to some set of people very fast than the others, which is not supposed to be, because you need to satisfy everybody at the same time and at the same level if we are truly for everybody. A
lot of people still of the same opinion that what the federal government are doing right about now, in as much as that it is a good idea to increase the salary of the civil servants, but it's a bit unguided, because they did not really do what they're supposed to do to ensure that it goes round to every single person, and as such, doing it now in this way and excluding some people would not actually be the right move to take.